The church has disconnected itself from God. Many Christians, they go to church for church. They go to church to seek reassurance. They go there to seek for a ticket to go to heaven. But the truth is much more ugly. It is a story that still makes me fall off my chair. And recently I have visited a Christian family. So I was asked to introduce myself and explain how I came to God. I explained to them that I went to catechism to receive minimal instruction, to receive baptism. And the immediate follow-up question I got was, do you have enough? Do you read enough? Do you have enough instruction? And I was kind of surprised by this question, because the first thought I had was, well, you can read many books, you can accumulate a lot of knowledge and still have nothing to do with God. The point of church is to get you in the hands of God. You're not going to church for the sake of church or reading for the sake of reading. You're reading for the sake of getting closer to God. Gain holiness, gain knowledge, so you can get closer to God. The object, the target is God, not reading for reading. And the more I listened to the family that hosted me, the more I was thinking it was really religion for religion. It made me thought about idolatry of the church. This is what it is. Idolatry of doctrines, accumulation of knowledge, reading. I am idolizing, seeking for God, but not God. I like the process. I like ticking the boxes, I do my rosary, I do the readings, but I still have nothing to do with God. This is what many Catholics that I know are doing. You know, the more I spend time at the Catholic Church, the church in general, the more I hear about sin, but I never hear about people doing the commandments, because you know, on my channel I keep repeating that you need to do commandments, you need to get in true contact with the true God. This is what matters the most. You have to get to know Jesus and you have to get confirmation that He knows you. Doesn't matter, you can read all the books you want and still have nothing to do with God. You can do all the research you want about theology. You can become the most knowledgeable person. You can go to Reddit, do those stupid debates. It's useless. It's endless and useless. Contact with God is simple. This is why you need to become a child. It is simple. Do the commandments. Show that you love God with your acts. You don't need to do endless research. Why does it need to be so complicated? So if we come back to my story, I had the urge to reply to them that it doesn't make any sense to just keep reading if you don't come in true contact with the true God. This is what I wanted to tell them. But you know, out of respect, because I was just a guest in their house, I don't want to make a drama out of it. I just listened to them. And through their questions, I started understanding. This is where the knowledge started pouring. Why? What is the problem with the church? Because now church, I feel like it's church for church. To say that I go to church on Sunday, but it was funny because the same weekend, on the same day, we had a sermon about not getting angry, not telling raka to your neighbor. And this is what the mom did to her children, to just get angry at them, to tell them that they're stupid, they're not doing the things the right way. And it blew my mind. Even if you go to church, you don't listen, you don't apply. That's the problem. That's the problem about the church. It's about ticking boxes, but when it comes to practice, it's all about ticking boxes, reading, going to church. I read this, I go to church, boom, boom, check, check. But they are doing the same mistakes that they shouldn't be making. It blew my mind. Don't say raka, but she did it. But you know, I still like them. I like this family. They are funny. You know, they are good people to hang out with. And I just fear for them. I fear that they don't have contact with the true God, that they are not aligned with what God wants. This is what you need to go for. True contact. Get confirmation that you're on the right path, that what you're doing is pleasing to Jesus. Otherwise, I don't get peace. If my prayers don't get answers, I don't have peace. I don't know how you can live without true contact. I don't know. It just blows my mind. And this is not to disregard Catholic in general. This is good to have the Eucharist, and if you truly apply the words of Master, you can make fructify all of this. But as I said, it's a sickness, like the Pharisees, just checking boxes. I do this and that. This is my ticket to heaven, but it is not. Another story I want to tell you is, I keep quoting those books on my YouTube channel, Maria Valtorta. So this Italian mystic who wrote immense quantity of knowledge, direct words from the Master, 5,000 pages of visions, descriptions of the life of Jesus Christ. The one who reads those books and apply the words becomes a saint. I tried to convince people, convince the priest. Nobody would listen to me. Just hearing the name Maria Valtorta, it's worse than a mortal sin. I'm talking about something worse. It's heresy. It's heresy, but in reality, it is the true word of the Master. You read those books. Go make your own discernment. They are blocking the entrance to heaven, those people who say that those books are wrong. Because those books are the true word from the Master, from the source. I'm not sure this is their intention, but they're keeping Christians stuck in the church. They don't get to the level of God. Church is supposed to propel you to the level of God, but they're blocking people. They're blocking the entrance of heavens. But some priests are good, they tell to do the commandments, to show love with acts, but they don't put a lot of emphasis. This is a lot of doctrines, those sermons, and I don't know, I got a lot of confusion about it. I think there are some good fruits, but I like to see the church as a big tree with many branches. So bad Christian denominations, we can think about branches that are being cut out from the tree. Some branches, they receive some sap, some others they receive more, some others they receive less. And I believe even the most serious Catholic, they might be the ones who receive a bit of sap, but the church in its globality is not receiving all the sap it should receive. The church has disconnected itself from God. And as a Catholic, I will always hear the same thing: pray the rosary, do this, do that. A lot of those readings and practices, they are dry. This is not the true water. When you go read those books, Maria Valtorta, you feel like completely rehydrated, because this is the true water. It truly feeds your spirit. True knowledge from the true source. But again, the church is disconnected. They are blocking access to God. I hope I'm not gonna shock anyone, but sometimes I can't help but admire the evil genius of Satan. There's the church, and he corrupts the church in a way that you get closer to God because you get more knowledge, but at some point you get blocked. You get blocked just before getting true revelation, doing the commandments, loving God in acts, and then receive knowledge. You don't need to read anything when you receive knowledge directly from God. The Holy Spirit will repeat everything you need to know. You will know more than theologians, because God is still working miracles and wonders. Because the true God is still alive. And He has mercy on His lost sheep who are not receiving what they should be receiving. True contact with God. I am not pushing you to leave the church or join a church or whatever. This is not my mission of this channel. My mission is to get you in true contact with the true God. Is you doing the commandments and reaching with the true God. Then you don't need me anymore. You don't need those videos anymore. Because now God is holding your hand. And He's going to do awesome things. Wonderful things will happen into your life. You will still need to carry your cross. But once you can get into the hands of Jesus, you'll be okay. You don't need me anymore. I am a poor man. I'm giving you the basic, simple formula for you to get in true contact with the true God. So to bring nuance and conclude this video, I'm going to read you a little passage from Maria Valtorta. I will always speak, that the world may not become completely idolatrous. And I will speak to my disciples who have been chosen to repeat my words to you. The Spirit of God will speak, and they will understand what even wise men will not be able to understand, because scholars will study the word, the sentence, the manner, the place, the how, the instrument through which the word speaks, where I, my chosen one, will not get lost in such useless studies, but lost in love. They will listen and they will understand, because the love will speak to them. They will distinguish the ornate pages of learned people or the false pages of false prophets, of the rabbis of hypocrisy who teach polluted doctrines or teach what they do not practice, from the simple, true, deep word coming from me. But the world will hate them because of that, because the world hates me, light, and it hates the children of the light, the dark world that loves darkness, propitious for its sins.